This interesting short presentation is on positive communication or assertive communication. Um, and it's okay for us to review some of these questions. And the first question is, why is healthy and positive communication important in a relationship? So, what would be the answer? We may want to say that positive and healthy communication is important within a relationship because positive communication helps to maintain a healthy relationship. A healthy relationship in which each one is going to listen to each other's needs. And those needs are emotional needs, physical needs, spiritual needs, moral needs, mutual support, and so forth. So that's why healthy and positive communication is significantly necessary and important in a relationship. Obviously, we already know if there is no healthy, stable communication in a relationship, then things are going to be more difficult to continue advancing and growing together as a couple. So, um, number two is, what is assertive communication? Assertive communication has to do with uh, clear, open, respectful communication within the relationship. Um, Assertive communication has to do with the use of I statements, such as, I don't feel comfortable when I hear you, Rosie, or Johnny, or Jose talking to me in that tone of voice. I don't feel comfortable. And I would like you to talk to me when you feel calm. That would be an example of assertive communication and I statement. So, assertive communication has to do with a calm, respectful, clear, appropriate, civil way of expressing our needs um, to the other person. And at the same time, assertive communication has to do with taking into consideration the other person's or the significant other person significant needs into consideration. Number three, what does it mean to listen versus just hearing? So, what is the difference between attentive listening and hearing, right? So, positive, assertive communication, clear, respectful communication not only has to do with being able to express ourselves in a respectful way, but also I want to say that assertive communication has to do with uh, being attentive listeners. It's not only saying, talking, expressing what we think and what we feel, but also it has to do with being able to have the capacity and the potential to be attentive listeners. When we listen to the other person, we show respect, we show understanding, we offer reflection of feelings. Um, Listening or attentive listening also has to do with paying close attention to what the other person is saying, getting the other person message uh, in the right, understandable direction, right? So hearing is just hearing, not paying attention to the other person's needs or how the other person feels about the situation. Number 4, what is reflection of feelings? Reflection of feelings within a relationship has to do with listening and understanding deeply how the other person feels. So reflection of feelings has to do with being able to read, being able to understand um, when the other person is talking, when the other person is expressing himself or herself. We are able to see, understand, and feel those emotions the person is manifesting. So reflection of feelings sounds something like this. Um, I'm trying my very best how you feel. Uh, I can see and I can feel you are angry, you are sad, you are upset, you are disappointed. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean this, I didn't mean that. So reflection of feelings has to do with letting the other person know that you understand how he or she feels about the situation. Mm, that must be difficult. That must be painful. I'm sorry. You must feel very sad, very angry, very disappointed. Um, Something like that. And then number 5, what are the you statements? The you statements are, it's part of the aggressive or violent communication, such as you never, you always, you all the time. Those are the you statements. The you statements along with aggressive communication, such as you never listen, you always do the same thing, you will never change. Um, so you always, you never, you all the time, you all the time. So those are the you statements. And these you statements are not good, are not healthy, okay? So try your best to uh, avoid using you statements um, in your life experience. I mean, you can say you never go to the moon. Of course, I never go to the moon. Or um, you always breathe. Of course, right? I mean, I'm using this, you know, probably insignificant examples, but it's okay. I'm trying to make my point across, right? In a good way. So, number 6, give an example of I statements. I think I already covered that, but I can try again. I statements has to do once again with assertive communication, positive, open, clear communication, such as Rosie, uh, I feel sad when I see you not listening to me when I'm trying to let you know how I feel. So that would be an example of I statement. The opposite would be you never listen to me. See? You never pay attention to me. You ignore me. What's wrong with you? That would be aggressive communication along with you statements. Positive communication would be I would like to talk to you. Is it okay if I talk to you about what happened yesterday? Is it okay with you? Hmm? Instead of we need to talk. Hey, listen. See, you never listen. You always do the same. Well, that would be aggressive communication. Number 7, what is aggressive communication? I think I have already covered that, but aggressive communication is a way of expressing yourself in a demanding, controlling, intimidating way. along with the you statements. So, so we cover, I mean, this is just like a summary from another video I did on assertive positive communication, clear, open communication. Um, um, and I think it's very important, right, to maintain open, continue improving positive, assertive communication along with attentive listening, right? Breathe in and breathe out, right? Breathe in and breathe out. Stay calm, listen, express yourself in a calm, positive, constructive, appropriate way. So, um, I always like the example of Apollo 13, the movie, and they talk about Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And then they communicate, the astronauts who are in the space communicate to the NASA in Houston, and then they have a problem, technical problems. And at the beginning, the way they are communicating is very intense because they don't know what's going on, right? So, um, and suddenly, once they try to stop and calm to see what the problem is, because they were not listening to each other, from the scientists, the people from the NASA, to the astronauts on the space. Suddenly they stop, and the leader from the NASA in Houston say, okay guys, listen, we need to know what the problem is first. Let's stay calm. And then suddenly an astronaut lets the other people know from Houston, this is what the problem is. And now we know. Now they say, okay, we have 15 minutes to fix the problem before you run out of oxygen. And of course, if you watch the movie, you will see it. But, communication within a relationship is, using the analogy of Houston, we have a problem. At the beginning, we start, just talking and saying, hey, calm down. Listen, breathe in, breathe out. Let's fix the problem. What is the problem? Let's talk about it. Let's listen to each other and follow the necessary instructions to restore our stability within our relationship. Mhm. Okay, so I want to thank you for your time and your participation. Um, I think there is a link behind, on the bottom of this video, about the clip from um, Apollo 13. It's like a 10-minute little, clip, which is good just to watch it and have an idea, about the communication thing, um, and so forth. Okay, so um, thank you for your time, and be safe, be well. Um, Palabra la tole.